here. You'll look pretty craziness. Nice good angle. Make sure as well to the cable. Bring that wrist up. Nice and high. Flex that wrist. Forearm parallel to the floor. Give it support. Bring that up. And just steady it. That is going to get that forearm right there. Sesh here because I think I've done quite a lot today, especially with everything that I've just recorded that you've just seen. Really feeling it though, up in the torso, so feeling it in the shoulders and especially the upper back. But I think that's a good little wrap up of the gym. So now we're going to switch to the next. Now when it comes to leveling up, few strategies that I've used to really compartmentalize how I can prioritize what's important and what's not. The first thing I implement is what is a major issue and what is a minor issue. Now when it comes to trying to establish these things, it all depends on what's most important to you. So for some of us it could be work, or it could be friendships or relationships, or even food. We all gotta love food. So let's say, okay, cool, my next week, I'm gonna be meeting 2 friends on 2 different days. And you know, the first thing I thought about was establishing times and where we're gonna go. For some people, they might like to be spontaneous. So they might think, do you know what, don't really wanna plan where we go. We just meet up in a location and then we just go wherever the day takes us. Whereas again, some people would prefer to know, right, how much money do they need? What time do they need to be somewhere specifically? Do they need to book a place for somewhere? But it all depends on the person and how they perceive the minor and major things to get things done. Another example could be in the gym. I might put myself through the hardest exercise at the start and then have the most minor, or let's say the one that doesn't push me too hard of an exercise at the end of a session. So it all depends on how you want to go about it. I mean, I don't mind. As you can tell in my edits, I just randomize every exercise every time I go. I do different variations of similar, if not different exercises. But again, some people prefer to do the hardest stuff at the start and then the easiest stuff at the end. Some people like to have a build up, so they start with the easy and they go slowly to the hardest. But again, it all depends on the person. So definitely try and work out what's minor and major. The second step you could take to leveling up and being more productive is, I've said this in the previous video, about taking notes of things that you need to get done. So these are things that you have to do. So for example, we've all got to pay rent or a mortgage, pay bills. But when it comes to goal setting, you know, what is my goal that I want to achieve? And then again, do I need any help with it? Or can I do it on my own? Do I need some more money for it? Or can I get by with just what I've got there? Or how much time will it take me to absorb the information, but also put that information into action to then get the benefits of achieving that goal? Could just be 2 things. What do I need to do in order to start and then sustain the engagement? You don't want to get bored of it. So what can I do to enjoy it, learn, absorb, and process that information to then be the best version I can be? And finally, a third step. Now this one can be very, very hard for a lot of people. And I touched on this in the previous video. It's about knowing who, but also what can really help you focus and niche down on what you want. So for example, I don't want to sound rude when I say this, but will certain people hold you back, or will they create some obstacles that will prevent you from achieving that long-term goal? Even if it's a short-term goal, you know, are those people willing to support you with that? Are they willing to, you know, even just give you a bit of advice themselves. Maybe they've experienced something the same way or a similar way to what you're looking to do. Another thing as well when it comes to looking at who and what could prevent you from getting somewhere is if you want to get somewhere or you want to achieve, again, a minor or major outcome, with those people, do they listen to you when you speak? Do they actively engage with that conversation? Do they show a bit of interest? And if they do, then that's great. But if they don't, then it might cause a bit of an issue because, you know, of course we don't want to cut people out of our lives. We want to have loads of people who respect us, but also we can spend time with and grow with. However, if people are quite negative towards you, or if they try to come across with this very negative opinion of what you're looking to do or something you have a very keen interest with, you might have to reevaluate that they might not help you achieve whatever it is. If you think about, you know, all the successful entrepreneurs and influencers you see on Instagram and YouTube, they will surround themselves around people who have similar goals, similar ambitions, but you don't see them pissing about with people who don't give a fuck, do you? Like, you know, you might see people who play pranks and stuff like that. Of course, they might not give a fuck in the prank necessarily, but they will still have people around them who have the similar outcomes that they want, and therefore they can actually learn and be inspired by them to grow. So just take those 3 things with you. So step 1, minor and major. Are those things going to really, really help with understanding what's important, what's not so important? What do I need to see to now? And what do I not need to worry about? The second step, just prioritize yourself and make sure you focus on what you need to get done, which links in with step 1. And step 3, are those people going to support you with those goals and those ambitions? Because not everybody's going to align on the same interests or the same outcomes, but again, if you want to achieve certain things, ideally you need people who are going to at least respect it. They don't have to agree with it, of course not, we're all different, but they've got to respect it. And if they can't respect it, then maybe they're not as much of a friend as you think. Because when you look at people with their different attitudes and opinions, we all process things differently, not a problem. However, I won't look at somebody like, you know, who's a friend or even a stranger and say, that ain't gonna work, what's the point? However, if somebody acts like that towards me, I'm thinking, do they actually value my interest or what I'm talking about? And if they don't, then you might have to really think about who's in your life and who's not. And I don't mean that in a negative way at all. It's just, if you want to get somewhere, you want to, you know, go on a new adventure, can you do that with those people potentially, I say potentially, holding you back? Because if they do that, it's going to limit you. You know, it's like there's a phrase that I've heard, you know, if you are a seed in a 2-foot plant pot, you're limited by your environment. But take that with you guys, and if they work, they work. If they don't work, then I'm sure there'll be something or someone out there that can inspire you with anything, because we can all inspire each other. But on that note, take care guys, much love, be safe, together we can make the movement. Click on the video just here to see my last video, what I spoke about. Much love guys.